It's your girl, Shawn, Southern erotic author of the Broken Soul series, host and unlicensed therapist of the Black Writer Therapy Podcast, a show dedicated to amplifying the voices, stories, and experiences of Black women writers with the audacity to thrive in an industry that hasn't always been so welcoming. Join me as I welcome a new writer friend every Thursday at 7:30 a.m. for candid conversations about writing, publishing, and finding harmony in their writing lives. You can stay in the know by following the podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Feel free to message me on either platform. I love hearing from my listeners. And if you like what you hear and would like to support the show, you can recommend this podcast to family and friends, leave a rating and or a review. Become a paid subscriber to the How Are You Healing Sis newsletter on Substack. Or you can join my Sunrise Tea crew by gifting me a box of my favorite tea. Welcome to this session of Black Writer Therapy. I wonder who's in my waiting room today. Hello, and thank you so much, Dr. Vanessa Guyton, for being here with me this afternoon. I know you are busy, so this means a lot to me that you could take some time out and hang out with me on Black Writer Therapy. How are you?
I am awesome. I am honored, excited. Can't wait for us to get to the podcast. So I'm perfect today. Today is perfect.
Thank you. That's good to hear. Absolutely adore everything that you do and everything that you stand for, and I'm ready to jump in. But there are some things that I do want to touch on before we get into your book. But before we do any of it, I have to ask my favorite question, the one I think people don't ask at all, if I never get asked this question. Dr. Vanessa, how are you healing today?
That's a good question. I feel like I heal every day. Every day is opportunity for me to heal. Healing is just not one period. And I am healing today by being honored to be on your podcast, to be recognized for the work that I do, to know that my journey and my story, my life experiences are important in changing lives, and that this podcast is going to do that as well. And that's healing for me. Just walking in my truth, in my purpose, being authentic, the best that I can be, the only way I know how. Yes. And that's healing for me.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love getting these. That's beautiful. Walking in my truth, walking in my purpose, knowing that what I do is going to help others. Like that's like in my mind, right? I'm thinking that's exactly what else are we doing here? If we are not here to, one, heal ourselves,
right?
And by our examples, by our life, heal others or help others find healing. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yay. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Oh, wow. So you are an award-winning survivor advocate, trainer, keynote speaker, producer, author, and an award-winning mother. I'm just going to throw it out there. Can you please tell me where you got your award for the motherhood? Because I would like one for myself. You said being recognized as healing. I think mothers are never recognized enough except for on Mother's Day. And this is just me throwing it out there because I think they expect, you're a mother. Of course you're going to do X, Y, and Z. But you do so much outside of being a mother. So if there were an award for motherhood, I would hope that you have the trophy somewhere.
So I believe I have the trophy now. I didn't always have the trophy. When you're going through trauma, when you're depressed, when you have things going on in life, you're not always the perfect mother, right? Trying to figure out life. And I was a mother at 18. So I didn't know how to be a mother. I learned along the way. So I do believe I'm still learning motherhood, but now I'm learning how to be a grandmother. So I got an award, I think. I'm doing pretty good because I'm a grandma. I didn't know called by my grandkids, Gigi. And I picked it because a lot of our family is still living. My grandmother was living when my first grandson was born. My mother, my grandmother, the other side of the family, all the grandparents are there. So I'm Gigi because we started young. So grandparents are younger now.
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to keep it light because I know we're going to get into some seriously heavy stuff. And so I'm putting it out here now for the listening audience. This episode, this therapy session may actually feel more like a therapy session than any of the others that I've put out there. Although I always remind people I am an unlicensed therapist. I am just here, but I feel like this is going to get a little deep. And so keeping it light as possible, but how light can it be? I saw your video. It was a video where you had some of the survivors who participated in your book where they submitted poetry. And I was like, no, what we're not going to do is sit up on this podcast and cry because, girl, that was beautiful. And it was a mess. But I was just like, oh, my word. What made you decide to do that? See, we're going in that way. Then we'll come in and get back around to your story. What made you decide to produce a book of poetry or writings and say, hey, survivors of these hush topics that people don't want to talk about and don't want to hear about? What made you say, hey, let's put it out here. Let's get it out for people to read?
Honestly, the first one was fear. I wasn't ready to do it by myself.
Gotcha.
So I felt if I shared my poetry, my story with other survivors, that it would be easier than it just. So that's where it definitely came from. Second, I also think that sharing our story is healing. And what other way to heal than to share someone else's story alongside of me? I don't think my story is better, bigger, or more important than anyone else's story. That all of us have our own journey. So I wanted to do it with other people. I wanted them to feel supported. It's not like I'm asking you to share your story by yourself. We're doing this together. And I think it makes it easier for everyone to overcome some of the shame and embarrassment and fear by doing it as a team. And that's where it came from.
I love that. I love it. I don't know that I got all of it because, all the people who read, but I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 women and one guy, and then it was you. And so I listened to it all and I just said to myself out loud, people live through so much and nobody knows it by looking at them. Nobody's going to look at you and say, oh yeah, she has been, like, no one's going to, right? Do people look at you and say, girl, you wearing your trauma like a brand new suit?
No, because I'm a doctor, they actually assume that I've never been through anything, that my life is easy. The assumption is that I haven't made. That's how people view me at times, and that's not the case. You can't look at somebody and see their journey, their trauma, struggles, their income level, any of that. It's important to get to know a person and not to do a comparison. That person is who they are and you are who you are.
That part, I think, is really important. So I want to talk about these hush topics. What is your story? How did it play into the formation of Hush No More?
I love that.
Because that's how I feel people are. When you bring stuff up, they're just like, oh, don't say it out loud because it makes it a real thing. So I've just thrown some stuff at you because I just want to sit back and listen. And I want people to hear you. Okay.
floor is yours. Those topics are those topics in our community, in our families, at work that we do not want to talk about. There's embarrassment around it. There's a secrecy around it. It can be domestic violence, sexual assault, child sexual abuse, incest, human trafficking, sexual harassment, all of those things that make us feel uncomfortable are hush topics. Okay. When we decide to share, we start healing, right? And so I'm the person that help you unleash the shame to heal. Essentially, that's what hush stands for. And how I started was I was in a mall in Columbia, South Carolina, and I was going about my business, and there was a gentleman that came out of a store, and he looked like a guy that raped me in the military. And I freaked out. I started crying, screaming and hollering in the mall, people looking at me, and I just started crying. And I just immediately remembered being sexually assaulted in the military, and I had completely suppressed the memory, did not remember. And there was a little old lady in the mall, and she came up to me, and it's important because I'm like crying, and I am grateful for her. So I always talk about her in my story. She walked me to my car, and she stood there with me, and I just was blown away. That was in 2017. Went home. I drank a whole bottle of Remy, trying to suppress and feel better. I got drunk. I couldn't stop crying. I called my girlfriend, and I told her I can't stop crying. I think something's wrong. I need to go to the hospital. She took me to the VA hospital in Columbus. Very grateful for them. And I learned something that day was that you can't be admitted to the hospital if you're intoxicated. And I just stood there crying until they could admit me into the hospital. And I was admitted into the hospital for about a week. I had intensive therapy and treatment for PTSD, for military sexual trauma. And it was the best thing ever. Best thing. I was the person that never got a DUI. I would drink to go to sleep. I would drink if I was hypervigilant, but I didn't have a drinking problem, right? I met a guy there, and he said, you was drunk. You probably an alcoholic like me. No ways. I got diagnosed by another alcoholic that loved me for who I was.
Oh my gosh, really?
Really. So got out of the hospital, stopped drinking for about 90 days so I could have wine again, started all over. It just started back to zero. I didn't stick with it. A lot of times we try to heal, we try to do what's right, and we relapse. So that's what I thought I had it. February 2019, I went to a conference. It was a church conference with my friends, and it was my birthday weekend. My birthday is February 2nd. I was going to an Omega all-black party on that weekend. I was going to a party to celebrate my birthday. So he said, once you come to the conference with me, it's already paid for. You can come back to Columbia because it was in Charlotte. You can come back to Columbia for the party. Okay, paid for, I'll go. When I got there, I got on the elevator and I met a lady, and she said, hi, what's your name? I said, oh, Vanessa. She said, oh, like Vanessa Bell Armstrong? I said, yeah, like Vanessa Bell Armstrong, the gospel singer, right? Yes. I have a lot of name associations, so I won't forget. And my name is Mildred. So I said, hi, Mildred. And we talking on the elevator. We go our own ways, right? The next day, how about Miss Mildred is the guest speaker? So she's actually Reverend Mildred Blakeney, right? Okay. I met the speaker in the elevator. So she gets to talking. I pull out my Bible and my notes, and I start writing. Didn't hear nothing she said. God gave me a download of Hush No More. It was like, I need you to start this nonprofit. This is what it's called. This is what you're going to do. You need to stop this organization. This. I'm just journaling. I'm writing it all down. There's no way I'll be able to do this because it's international. It's a really big calling for me to do. So I'm just laughing with God, right? I wrote it down. I got it, right? But you got to make a way. So I hear all of a sudden, Vanessa Bell Armstrong, right? And I'm like, what? Is she here? So he said, God told me I got a message for you and I need you to come up here. So I'm like, man, this lady about to play with me, but I be obedient. I go up. She pulls out a chair and she said, God told me that he gave you a mission and you believe it's not possible because you don't have the money. But God is going to provide all the money that you need. Everything is going to provide it. And you're going to go to the lands of the unknown. And that your organization is going to be great, greater than you can ever expect what God is going to do. I'm like, how does lady know that I'm just sitting here laughing with God? One, about this organization. Two, about this money, right? So,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so maybe this is God, so I'm going to give it a chance, right? So she said, I am going to anoint your feet with oil and have the women in the room pray for you for the mission that God is about to embark on you. So she takes oil and she massages my feet, right? So first of all, I have army feet. My feet hurt. This is like the best massage ever, right? So she's just like loving on me, massaging my feet, praying over my life. All the women in the room come and pray over me. And I'm just like, what? And I'm that person that I would ask when it's like really not appropriate. I'm just like, what? Like, this is blown.
Okay.
So fast forward, an amazing experience. And I'm like, okay, guys. So part of this conference was going to the Billy Graham Library.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the Billy Graham Library. If nobody has ever been, I really highly recommend that you go. It's enlightening. And I literally saw Billy Graham's passport, everything that he did in the 1950s was
Mm-hmm.
what God gave me to do, to travel around the world, talk about those topics, helping save people's lives from the trauma that they've been through. Like I've seen it with Billy Graham's. Like maybe this is right. So when I get back to the hotel, I call my girlfriend and I say, hey, God just gave me this big mission and I can't come back to Colombia for this party. And I hope you understand, right? I know y'all planning a birthday party for me, but I can't make it back because I felt like if I started drinking, if I went in this space, everything that God had promised me that weekend would not.
Yeah.
So I stayed the rest of the conference, met some amazing women. On Monday, when I get back, I started the nonprofit online. It was less money than what I thought. My nonprofit status came back in 2 weeks in the mail, which is unheard of. And that Thursday, there's a lady named Dr. Jones from Shaw Air Force Base in Sumter, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
She called me and she said, Dr. Vanessa, I want to know if in April, if you want to go with us to Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and Jordan to teach sexual assault to the soldiers. And I was like, we're going to pay you to train and pay for all your accommodations. So what's that? That's the land of the unknown, right? So Dr. Jones, I said, tell you about my weekend, right? I go to tell her about the weekend and she says, I'm glad that you're a Christian. I did not know what your faith was. But when we get to Jordan, the chaplain is going to baptize us in the Jordan River. You'll be baptized if you would like. That April, I went to Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan. I saw different places that was in the Bible. It was like confirmation for everything that God was going to have me to do. And that is hush no more. I have not had a drink since February 7th, 2019. I've been sober for 5 years. Yay me. I'm just grateful. The journey has not been easy, but we have been very successful. We have started changing the lives, hush no more, support survivors of the hush topics. We do healing retreat. We have a holistic healing wellness center in Columbia, South Carolina, where you could get healing modalities. We offer Reiki, sound therapy, meditation, anything that you could think of. My daughter has a business called Rooted Vibration. So she has a store where we have crystals, anything that you really need to work on your healing journey.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Look, bad host. I born and raised here in Columbia, South Carolina. Why did I have to find you on TikTok?
You found me up TikTok. Thank God for social media.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea. Like I told you, I'm combing through all the things, but I'm like, you have a wellness center.
We have a wellness center because I think that there's holistic ways to heal your trauma. The things that I did to work on my healing journey is the things that we offer. And I love events. So we have amazing community events because I think that it's important to know the resources in your community. I think it's important for us to love on you, to show kindness, to be supportive, and to just show up in those spaces. So that's Hush No More. That's what we do. And I'm absolutely grateful that God chose me to be a catalyst, even though the trauma that I experienced really did so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here today. And some days are good. Some days are like, but overall, I have more good days than bad. And the guy that took advantage of me is irrelevant. He was purposeful because I would not be here today if he didn't choose to do what he did to me. So I'm just in awe about the things that God did in my life.
I'm in awe of you. I am in awe of the way that you have, and let me preface this. Yes, I grew up Christian, Baptist, deep country Baptist. However, I am now more spiritual than Christian. So when you're talking to me and you said, they said that we could get baptized, and my mouth is wide up, it's because, yes, I understand the relevance of being baptized in the Jordan River, and whether or not, and this is just me, whether or not I were still practicing Christianity, the opportunity to be baptized, to be in that space and hold that space for so many of us who do practice Christian like that. How was that? Tell me you did it, first of all. Please tell me that you did it.
I did it. It was
Okay.
It was an experience that I never imagined would happen to me. Like, who thinks they're ever going to Jordan and that you read about it? Like, you read about the Jordan River, you read about the people in that area, what Jesus looked like. I know that Jesus walked this earth and was a man of color. Do I know for a fact everything that happened? No. I wasn't there. But when I look at like the skin color, the hair of wool, that's what the people in that region look like. The Jordan River exists. Those things exist.
Yeah.
I am very spiritual. A lot of the practices that I do are not accepted in Christianity. I have a journey of, I love all religion. So my second doctorate is in religious counseling and psychology. So I love faith, religions, and spirituality. So I think that's important. But it was an unsurreal experience that I feel like God chose me for. I feel like it was to say, I am real, and that the promises that are brought forth are going to come true for you in your life. And that you may have a bad day, but it's okay because I got your back. That's how I look at that experience, is I got your back. And that when I tell you something is going to happen, so don't doubt. I am powerful. I am amazing. I don't have to go through somebody else to reach God. That what I got with God is for me. I don't have to go to a pastor, priest, bishop, nobody. Go to God.
You see me up here. I'm about to tell you, girl, you better stop. Because there we are. There we are. And,
right.
and yeah, like that. Like I'm watching you and I'm listening, but there's like this energy with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the energy that makes me want to, it's like the energy that has me wanting to get closer and closer because you have recognized your own divinity, your own power, your own purpose. And yes, I am a part of something so much bigger than me, but I'm still big here doing the big work. And you're doing the big work, right?
I am.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Really, this is like all these hush topics are so like near and dear to me because I have 3 daughters, 2 of which are survivors. And every time I think about all my kids, like what they went through. And, you know, because I was like the mom, we had all the talks, we did all the things, and I was just like, and they never even told me until like years later, and I didn't even figure it out. So there's that aspect, right? The mom who's thinking, and then just understanding the kids. I taught high school that I had so many kids come to me, same issues, incest, assault, abuse, all of it. So when I found you, when I was sent to you, I was like, gotta have this woman on the show. And then I saw you live right here and I was like, oh, we're going to meet up. We're going to be best friends.
I can't wait. Yeah.
How are you able to help listen to all of it? Take in everybody else's story, because I know you're taking in stories and you have your own story that is still written deeply in your soul. How are you able to, I don't want to say compartmentalize, But how are you able to give so much and not be depleted?
Can I address something you said before I answer that question?
Of course. Of course.
As parents, as family members, we have no control over the actions of others. We can have the talk to be the perfect parents, the friend, but we can't accept any blame. The blame always goes on the abuser. Always. I will not blame myself for something that happened to my child that I could not prevent. It was not our fault. It's never the survivor's fault. It's never the parents or family or friend's fault. It is always the abuser's fault. So remember that. And that's for anybody in your audience, that we cannot blame ourselves for not knowing that there are evil people out here.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
remember
Thank
that.
you. I needed to hear that and didn't even know I needed to.
How do I protect myself?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of ways, because I failed at that at the beginning. I would tell you, I did not do a good job. I used to be tired, exhausted, like dreaming about people, worried about them, right? Because I'm an empath.
Yeah.
Over the years, I have learned that other people's problems are not mine. That is their story, and it cannot affect my life. That is God's responsibility to heal them, to solve the problem that they have. I am just a conduit. I am the person that allows them to get resources, and then it's up to them to heal. I can't heal nobody. I can't save anybody, and it is not my responsibility. That is their life. But what I can do is be nice, kind, loving, help them find resources, share my journey if I want to let them know that I understand, and just create a safe space for them. That's for me. Some stories are harder than others. I do a lot of energy work, Reiki, meditation, sound therapy. Sometimes you'll see me wearing a bendy to help protect my third eye for not allowing that energy to affect me. I have to put up spiritual walls to say that this is my body, this is my mind, and I must block it. They don't see the wall. But in that moment, I'm not even there sometimes. I don't even need to know the entire story. I just need to know that you need some help. Not for me to know if I believe you or not. That has nothing to do with me. This is your journey. And so I will allow people to keep their journey, their story to themselves.
My heart is hurting right now just because I'm remembering being a teacher, high school teacher, and these kids. I was so burnt out when I finally left. I was so burnt out. I was sick as a dog. It was a hot mess. And I knew why. I knew why, because I was
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I had all of that, like, right there.
It's an honor. So when somebody trusts me to share anything with me, I always say, I honor you in this moment. Thank you for sharing with me. Because a lot of times I'm the first person they've ever told. If it's a child and they trust me to tell me some things, I'm honored. And I try to get them resources that can help them. I'm a connector. I know I'm a healer. I believe that my hugs heal, creating the space is healing. But I just accept people for who they are and the space that they're in. It's hard, especially it's hard with kids, but I get excited when kids can share, because now we can get them out of the situation. Now they can find answers. I look at it that way. Once you share, now we can get some answers for you.
Yeah.
Now the healing starts, right? And that's the strength for me. I like when they remember. A lot of times people do not remember the trauma. They suppress so much. Our brains are amazing. Our brains protect us. Our limbic system will protect us from remembering certain things in our lives.
That it's exciting, but when you don't know how to protect yourself, and you're just, it's like being an open wound. Was that your experience in the beginning when you said I failed? Were you an open wound?
Open wound, one man in the bed said, I gave up. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Take everything out of the bed, because people will take your life.
Yes.
When people are hurting, they will try to drain all your energy from you. And I was allowing them to take my energy, to deplete me. And when I meet different scholars, different healers, people on their spiritual journey, I ask them, how do they block themselves? I ask them, how do they cleanse themselves? Like black soap, I take spiritual baths. Like I do the work to cleanse me. So there's all different ways to heal. I'm in the shower. I'm like, whoosh, it's got to go. I use water from the ocean and I do spiritual baths with it to help heal. I use crystals. I have crystals on now to help block negative energy. So I do a lot of spiritual work to block all of that because it will weigh you down. And it's fair to me. It's not fair to Vanessa.
Right. Now, I left the profession because I developed some other illnesses.
Trauma is a disease. It will draw you, eat you, beat you, knock you over. You don't heal from it. Try to work on it, and it's contagious. Like sometimes you'll have a parent, and that parent was sexually assaulted or has some type of childhood sexual abuse, and they have children, and they're birthing that trauma. But trauma goes 3 generations, right? So if you don't heal, you're creating that space, that unhealthy space that's going to your children, to your grandchildren. It's affecting our community. Like you'll meet people, they're so rude and just grumpy and unhappy, and they have some type of trauma, and now they can mess up your day. So it's contagious. It's like this evil virus that can eat you up. And so we have to heal it because other people trauma and stuff, our own personal stuff, it just breaks you down. So it is important that we do that work.
Trauma is a contagious disease. I'm going to be honest with you, not heard that before. I have not ever heard anyone say trauma is first and foremost a disease. Okay. And I've not heard anyone say, and it's contagious. Because you are 100% right. Like it's that energy transference. Oh, I'm messed up here and I don't want to be messed up by myself. Or even if they're not thinking that, it's contagious.
There's an amazing book called The Body Keeps the Score. A lot of people have trauma and disease. They got pain that is from trauma that they never healed. And it shows up in our body. It can show up in back pain, arthritis, digestive system, stress, anxiety, all of that. We have to heal because it'll make us sick. And the doctors know it. They know it, but they want to treat us with medication and not from a spiritual lens, not from a natural space. But, and I don't knock medication, but if there's a way to heal you spiritually, and part of it is addressing your trauma, then let's try that.
Yeah. That's what I always would say. It is dis-ease. That's what disease is. It's a dis-ease within the spiritual body that's causing the physical body to be diseased. And so I'm a kind of a word nerd. So I love the way we don't use words properly. I don't think we don't pay enough attention to the words we use and how they can be manipulated to, this is probably going to sound real hokey and crazy, but to cast some serious shadows into your life when they are spoken. And so I'm always like, girl, pay attention to what you say.
You're right. I don't say good morning. Why would I have a good morning of my life? I don't morning my life. I say grand rising.
There you go.
I need to rise grand. So I'm very particular of the words that I use. You're absolutely right. It's not crazy. And I agree with you. You have to speak positivity of your life. You have to manifest things in your life. What you say, speak, it is so. That's how I look at it. Like, you're right.
Too. Why would you wake up morning? And and I'm thinking the word wake, if you get down the rabbit hole, you're just like, you're in it, right? So we're not going to do that because we have more important things to talk about. But thank you so much thank you. Great rising. That's what I always say. Dr. Vanessa, noted, remember, international trainer. This is where you did all of this work. Have you been going international since being baptized in Jordan?
I have. So I train the military a lot. So I go to wherever there's a military installation. So I've been in Japan, Germany, multiple places in Europe, I've been to Taipei, Korea, hoping to go to somewhere in Africa. And I would love, because there's military installation.
I know.
Where you've been to Canada? We've done retreats in Canada. And I love the international space. And a topic that I absolutely love and think that we should do more of. So I just want to change the world. And that's always my goal.
I am loving all of this for you. I really am. So I want to get to your book. I always ask my guests, what's the most cathartic book you've ever written? Because I am a firm believer that writing is the first step to healing. It's that one place I've always had to go when everything was like, oh no, I don't even want to be here physically, mentally, emotionally, anything. I could open up my diary and lose myself in words. And so I have been a writer my whole life, as most people probably are. So I asked, what is your most cathartic book?
Hush No More the book. I have Hush No More the poetry book, Healing Through Words. And then I have the Hush No More trauma releasing coloring book. So those are all part of the series. And I do it together. I just thought it was good to do it together. The book itself was my story, and being able to share that with the world was very scary. So that was very challenging to sit down and have to relive my trauma again, share my story, but also share it in a way that did not give a lot of details to trauma somebody, but let you know exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The poetry book was important because writing poetry is how I heal. Mm-hmm. I've been a writer all my life. I think it's a gift to be able to write. Mm-hmm. And that was healing for me. So sharing my story was a way of healing, but it also was a way to conquer fear. Right? I was conquering fear sharing my story, but the poetry was healing. And to encourage other people that they can do something similar if they did. And so that's how I look at it. Both of them they both were important for me to birth.
Mm-hmm.
I color. I love art therapy. I'm a colorist. So I wanted to create something to show people that coloring will take your mind off of anything. All you want to do is stay between the lines and pick the right color. But the first book, just the book and share my story, I think was the most important because it was courageous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And where did you get that courage?
God? It wasn't me. It wasn't him. No. You don't want to tell all their business. I will keep your business to yourself.
Oh, yes.
And God was like, oh, you don't do this. Yeah.
How important is it, do you think, especially within the Black community, and especially with Black women, and I know you work with everybody, Miss World Traveler, but Black women, and I'm going to say Black Southern women, right? Because to be a Black Southern woman is to be a whole other animal. I don't think people understand how, you can be Black and North. No, to be a Black Southern woman who was born and raised in the South and decided to stay here on the same land where your forefathers were enslaved, and you're dealing with the same people whose forefathers enslaved yours. It takes a whole kind of different animal to be that Black woman, in my opinion, as a Black Southern woman. Because I'm tooting the horns for us. But I find in our Black Southern women community, it's this whole thing. Don't tell people what's going on in your house. My grandmother raised me. My mother raised me, but my grandma was there, of course. And she said, Ella, let me just say this. I don't ever want to hear about you wearing no dirty underwear outside your clothes when you ain't, just don't do it. That's not what we do. And I'm like a kid thinking, why would I wear dirty underwear? I had no idea she was telling me, you keep what's in here, regardless of what it is. And I've grown up knowing that. How dangerous is that?
When you don't share, you can't really heal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pecking order. The white man, the Black man, right? The white woman, the Black. Well, I just feel like we're always discounted.
Yep.
We're always questioned. We're not always picked first, although our intellect is amazing. In the South, they don't value a Black woman. There is colorism. So even as a dark-skinned Black woman.
Oh, yes.
There's so many challenges. And I look at slavery. We were required to take care of as a wife, our man, our children, our parents. Everybody else came before us. So we fail at putting ourselves first. So we're not aligned and we're not healthy and we're not healed. We can't move forward and progress like we need to. It's so important to acknowledge things that happen to us. We are not invincible. We do have a heart. We do hurt.
Yeah.
We're important. And we must come first so that we could show up for everybody else that expect us to show up.
Yes.
And that's how I look at the Black woman, that there is a high expectation of her, but at the same time, there's no expectation of her. They don't expect us to be amazing women, but then they want us to be an amazing one. We have to be the most educated in the room. I have to have a doctorate, and sometimes I still don't get it, and I know I'm the most qualified. So healing is important for the Black woman. Putting ourselves first is important. Knowing that we are amazing is important. So important for us to be able to show up true and authentic and healthy.
I want for everyone to be healthy, whole, and happy. Not happy because something is happening, but happy because you are breathing and healthy and whole in yourself. Not because of, and not in spite of, simply because I own all the parts of me. Even the parts that lay low in the shadows and they pop up every now and again. I'm quick to say you need that. Don't try and get rid of that shadow self because you need your shadow self. So, but just growing up hearing stuff like that and the excuses, always see, he didn't know no better. You know how he was. So why you stayed in there with him by yourself in the first place? You get all of this. And then I have generations much younger than me coming up telling me, this is what my mama said about. And I'm just like, what? Black woman, evolve. Why can't we evolve?
We are evolving, and it takes 1, 2, 3. The more of us do it, it encourages the other ones to do it. We set the example because we can. Sometimes things hold us back. But when you see another woman that's evolving, she elevating, she doing the thing, it encourages you to do the same.
Yeah.
And everybody not going to evolve because that's just how life is. But if you want to, you can.
Yeah, it is just doing this podcast, right? I decided, though, this is the way I'm going to give back to the Black writing community. I have met and had the experience and opportunity to talk with such great, and it does. It makes you want to sit up a little taller. It makes you want to really work on the craft. It makes you want to do a lot more and go a lot deeper and go farther than this. I can go out and get X, Y, and Z. I'm a firm believer. We sharpen each other. Like iron sharpens iron, and the man can't sharpen this iron at all. So in your inner circle, Dr. Vanessa, do you have that kind of iron sharpening inner circle who is there to make sure, A, you're not burning yourself out? Those are the people you need in your life that tell you to sit down somewhere now, right? And B, supporting you and not being yes people. But do you have that inner circle of just like women who will hold you up and sit you down when you need to be sat down?
Oh, do I? So I am military. So majority of my friends are military. I have friends that I've been with over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they love me. They accept me for who I am. They call me on my bull crap. They love me. They show up in my events. They support me. And I think that's important. As I elevate, I realize what it means that everybody can't go with you, unfortunately. So there are people that I had to move from that group. I had to let them go. And that's family too.
Mm-hmm.
There were people in my circle that were not ready to heal. So I do have it, and I think that it's very important that I have it. And I evaluate it a lot, and it's evolving. I'm very particular about who I share my space with, my time. I'm sober now, so there are people that I had to remove because they couldn't understand my sobriety journey. So, and it's okay.
Knowing that letting go, being able to let go, it's one of those universal laws of conscious detachment. And I absolutely live by and through that law of being consciously detached from everything and everyone. Yes, I want to experience it all. I want to be present for it all. But if it's all taken away, I am still fine. I am still good to go. And it's like family and friends. I find that the more I become aligned with my higher self, I don't really have to work to get rid of folks. They just stop calling. I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about any of these things. Let's talk about some ideas. Let's talk about some good food recipes. Let's talk about, yes, that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, so I find they just drop off, and it makes it easy for me. Awareness plus knowledge equals prevention. We can change the world by healing and sharing love and kindness. You walk that, you live that. Like it is, if anything was written all over you, it's that, right? Not in words, but it's there. Right there. Thank you for putting that down there, because that is your energy. That is your whole self. Really succinct.
That's how I can tell who's going to be in my circle. If you're not about love and kindness and you rude to people, being just grumpy all the time, and you don't respect people, then you can't be next to me.
Yes, it's kindness doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. And you don't know what kind of day people are having. And one smile,
That's it.
and that's it. So that saved them from going home and taking those pills. And I've had it happen. Yeah. That's a good barometer to decide who's going to be kicking it with you. I'm a kind person, genuinely. Golly. Okay. I want to talk about you publishing your book. How did you go about doing that?
Self-published.
Okay.
Because the Hush No More books are fundraisers.
Mhm.
So all the money goes back to Hush No More. That's how I raise funding. And I felt like if I used a publisher, one publisher was like 70, 80%. No, I think you can't take that much of my money. Some was 60. So I said, I'm going to do it myself. And then I published it on Amazon. That's how I did.
So how do you get your books out there?
So when I speak, I always have my books there. And that's an opportunity. Once people meet me, they want to know more of my story.
Mhm.
Or if I'm in an event, I'm speaking, I'm training, my books are there for sale. I also sell books at the events that we do in the community. So we're out, might be at a back to school event. We got Stoned by Crime or Domestic Violence Walk. My books are available for sale on our table. And that's how I do it. On our websites, courses on Amazon. They're buying me essentially. And so I sell in person. That's how I've been able to get most of my sales.
Yeah.
And it works for me.
Do you think it's easier to sell nonfiction than it is to sell fiction when you know that it's you that you're selling? In a world where shadows dance and secrets lurk, comes an unforgettable saga of broken souls, written by Shawn. Get ready to embark on a gripping journey through time, a dark Southern coming-of-age saga that spans over 30 years. Nothing is as it seems. With every turn of the page, secrets unravel, revealing a web of intrigue that will leave you breathless. Breaking is the easy part. Having the courage to look into the mirror of your souls, allowing yourself to be consecrated, to rise harmoniously in alignment with self and the universe, that's the hard part. Join John and Vivian on this unforgettable journey where shattered souls rise, courage is tested, and destinies are forged. The Broken Souls series by Shawn, a gripping 4-book masterpiece that will keep you captivated till the very end. Don't miss your chance to experience this compelling tale of love, loss, and redemption. Purchase your copy now and be prepared to have your soul shattered. Because sometimes the darkest paths lead to the brightest light. Writing to heal can't always be pretty and inspiring. That's what I got, right? When you're healing, you can't always write pretty. You can't always be an inspiration because your truth may not be pretty. And she just laid it out there like that. Is that, when you do your book, do you just say, hey, send in your poem, send in whatever you have? Or do you workshop it?
The only thing I do is check it for spelling error. What they write is what they write. Format is their format. Who am I to tell you that your writings are wrong? Because you ain't going to tell me that mine wrong. If it's misspelled and it's not an intentional misspelling, then we might edit that. But other than that, when they send it in, it's their work. If they ask me to edit it, I will. But what they send in is what they send in. And I think that is true to our art. Poetry, that's art, right? So how they send it is how they send it. And that's their truth. Who am I to tell them that is wrong or it's right or you need to add a period? They didn't want to add a period. They did it. They're walking in their healing and authority, and it's what they birth. So I don't make changes to. I do offer workshops to help people come up with their writings, poetry, or if they want to, or if they want to be a keynote speaker, I do help people with that. But your way is your way. I may have a couple of things, suggestions. I have some processes that's available out there. But whatever you birth is what you birth.
Yeah, it's raw. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Is that right? Does that resonate?
Some of it is, some people curse and they want to curse. That's your work. I don't treat, I'm like, don't curse. They say
that was me teaching high school creative writing. And they were like, I want to say this, but I don't know how to say it. I'm like, baby, this is you. These words are an extension of you. Put it on like you need to put it on, but don't just put it on because I'm saying you can, and you can tell when I'm always been in that vein. Do what you're going to do, say what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. Because it's raw, really raw. Maria Sokoloff. I was just like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. 42 years of repression.
Maria was a survivor of incest by her brother. And it's important for her to share it because there's so much sibling incest and we don't talk about it enough. She's also one of the ones who physically was affected by the abuse, mentally and physically. She had pain, physical pain. And so it's part of her journey to be able to tell her truth. And I'm proud of all of them. I get so honored that they want to share their story with me. Like, I want to getting their story out. That is just an honor. That's how I look at it. All of the authors and poets are healing.
Mm-hmm.
They're healing.
They're healing themselves, and just by being vulnerable and walking courageously in that vulnerability, they are giving permission to others to say, wait a minute, this looks like something I need. And I think that's the most important thing I can say. What do you love most about speaking with Dr. Vanessa? She walks in her vulnerability, and that vulnerability gives permission to other people to sink down into theirs and heal. Like, you're doing the work. You're doing all the work, right? So you say, I'm a Christian. But for you, I can tell you are, because you are doing what Christ did. Walk in your vulnerability, own all aspects of you, and say, this is it. This is what you get. Now what do you have? Because that takes bravery. And if you being so brave, you being so open and still filled with light, there's the part. You are like filled with light. And I know your story, your trauma is, okay, man. But yet you walk around here and it's not like I'm a fake it until I make it. Because every smile you have given reaches your eyes. And your whole face smiles. Your whole soul is smiling. And in these moments, I can't help but say, what's in her, right? If I were not aware, I would say, what's in her that's allowing her to be this way. So for people who just can't read the words written all over your body, awareness plus knowledge, we change the world with reading. Yes. For those who can't read it, what do you say? What gives you, Dr. Vanessa Guyton, the audacity to walk around here happy, whole, with the nerve to extend this out to the world and say, not only am I here to heal me, but I can help you find some of your own healing too, by the way.
When you're sick and tired, you make a change.
My word. Okay.
For me, depressed and sad, who wants to live that life? So when you get tired of being at the bottom, you figure it out. I was tired of being depressed and suicidal and just not happy. I didn't want to do that anymore. So it got to be something better because it just don't make no sense that this is where I am. And when I help other people, it helps me. I don't help other people to the detriment of me. I help other people to elevate themselves and stand alongside them. Because I used to be detrimental to me, but anymore. And India Ari has a song called I Am Light. I want to meet India Ari too. She's my sister. We're both, she birthday in February, her birthday in October. Same age. And her journey is amazing. That her words, her music, right? Her writing encourages me too.
Yeah.
She's like, I am light. And that's even in my poetry. I have adopted that from her. I promise you that's what I get. And the fact that you even say it, you can feel it. And that's a testament to her journey as well. And to mine and to God. So I'm grateful that it's part of my life.
You said something earlier that the abuser, I don't want to say, and I'm going to mess it up because it's something about he served a purpose or he had a purpose. I know how you can say it. I get all of it because I get all of it. But there are people listening who are going to be listening to this and they're going to say, how can she say that? Like, how can she say that? Because they're still hurting and they can't see past the pain and the violence and all of it. Again, where do you get this audacity? Because that's what I'm calling it. Like in the best way, though, please know it is in the best way, the audacity of Black women to be able to do all that we do. We're the blueprint. Everybody else is trying to keep up. Where are you getting it? Where are you getting it?
Why should I allow him to have power over my life? To have power over my mood, day, to determine how I feel today? He's irrelevant. If I make him purposeful, right, it makes me more relevant than it does him. I don't care about him. I could see him today. I always say, I hope he hurt. I know he'll hurt it. Like, I know because we're all, the military is small. There's no way that he does not know. If he don't, just wasn't meant to be. And I speak all over. Care about him. But do not. Why should I? And I'm probably having a better life and experience than he could ever have. Right? And I believe in karma. I know God and got him back and men still getting back. So
there you go.
First, I just worry about him. Like, I don't care about him. Like the least, he can come in this role. Now, what you ain't gonna do is try to speak to me. We ain't free. God, okay. We ain't never gonna be free. But I don't care about you. And, well, he does not have power alone. I took that back. What you did to me does not have power over me. So I don't care about him. Irrelevant.
That's it.
And I mean power. That. And I know on forgiveness, forgiving your rapist. And I had people that was pissed at me. They was mad. But this is my journey. I tell people that they got to forgive. But what I tell you is when you do forgive people and you do make them irrelevant in your life, you can move forward.
That forgiveness is the power. That's how you take the power back. I don't think people will understand. It's not for them.
Hey, stay here. It ain't going to make him feel no better that I said that I don't forgive him. I didn't forgive him to give him permission to do nothing in his life, to not free him from what he did to me. he's still held accountable for what he did to me. But I don't have to hold that space for him anymore.
Oh, you're making me you gave me chills, that part.
So that's how I could say that. It's all on him. That's it.
Wow, man, that's so powerful. That is so, okay. All right. Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say anymore, except you've answered all my good questions. We didn't get real. It wasn't heavy. Thank you so much for allowing me to keep it light. But I learned a lot. So you got to play my game.
Let's go.
Everybody's always going to want to do this. And they just get so upset. So I usually will choose either your name or your book or whatever, something from you. And then I'll do an acrostic word list. And then I throw out the words. You give me a little anecdotal story. And you have 4 hashtags that you have to choose from. It could be hashtag writer's life. Could be hashtag writing while Black. Hashtag it really happened. Or hashtag the nerve.
Hashtag the nerve.
Oh, but no, you choose when you tell me your anecdote. So if I give you a word like collard greens and you give me this, is that, and the third, and then you say hashtag it really happened.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So the words that I chose, I did hush topics because that's going to stick with me for my whole life. And I want you to know I write about those topics. That's all I write about. And exploring Black motherhood, because I'm still trying to figure that out as well. So, hush topic. Your first word, Dr. Vanessa, harmony.
It really happened.
What happened? You have to tell me the story. You can't just say it really.
That I have found a harmonious life, that harmony, everything is aligned in my life. That it's all lining up.
Yeah. I could tell. I could tell.
No matter what I've been through, it's very purposeful. And now I'm harmonious with who I am. I'm not fighting the battle of who I am today.
Yeah.
That I am the Black woman that I am, doctor that I am, natural side of me. Yeah, I love nature. I love animals. I am one with nature and animals. I don't think that you could love one without the other. With water, with the sun, with the moon. That's where I am. Hashtag it really happened.
I love that for you. I love that for you. And I'm sure people are drawn to you. And it's for that reason. People are drawn to you, aren't they? You get the life story in the store while you're trying to check out.
My mom said people just tell you all their business. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they do. They really do. Yeah. You and I are in that same boat then. And I'm just like, get better, girl.
What would you do? I honor you. Peace and blessing.
So thank you for sharing.
Peace and blessing.
Lord. But yeah, I can see why. Because you do. You are giving harmony, man. Understanding.
It was different for me to understand how people could say things so mean and not believe survivors. Or want to say things like, oh, ain't no way that happened, or she just want attention, or she's just doing that to get sympathy for people, to make herself better than everybody else and important, or she probably lying. Like the things that people say was difficult for me to understand. But now I understand. There's understanding because I realize, one, their own trauma. Two, if they believe what happened to other people, then the possibility that it can happen to them or to someone else exists. And what happened to them is real. The other thing, understanding, is that some people are abusers and they're looking you dead in your face. And they're people that you know, and they've done it. So they want to say things like that. They're going to say, And then also people would try to cover up their own trauma by saying things like that because they don't want you to know that they happened to them too.
Mm.
So now I understand it had nothing to do with me. That's their own stuff and why they say anything so mean and it's not nice. And the nerve, hashtag
the nerve. You understand the law of reflection, because that's what I had to learn. People come into your life and they are mirrors and they are showing you yourself, because I can't see me. I couldn't tell you physically, I can't even tell you what my face looks like unless I'm looking at it. And I see it every day. So I know internally I can't see what I am until I see it in other people, if I'm open to it. So I try and keep the peepers open, because I'm like, oh yeah, I am snotty like that. I am that big. Well, because it is what it is. And so sometimes I see stuff I like. Sometimes I see stuff I don't like, but I'm like, it must be here for a reason.
Yeah.
It must be here for a reason. So yeah, the nerve. Storytelling, Miss Doctor. Dr. Miss. Storytelling.
Storytelling. When you tell your story, right? Telling your story is important for freedom, for healing, for elevating, for acceptance of who you really are, for you to be able to walk in your truth and be authentic. It's purposeful. It leads to elevation. So you need to share to just see where you came. What happened? Where am I now? I grew up in the projects. That's part of my story, growing up poor. But I have to reflect on where I am today from where I came from. That's part of my story. My ancestors are part of my story. The things that they've been through are my story. It's part of me elevating and knowing that I'm still writing my story. One of my tattoos is a semicolon because my story is not over, right?
Yes.
I still got more to tell. And it's important. That storytelling.
I like that. Hashtag.
I'm in. Is that what
That's too deep for this show. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
No.
I told it. That's the
I said what I said.
I told my story. Hashtag. I told it. And I'm still telling.
Ready to go. I know. I'll take it. Healing. My favorite word, by the way.
Healing is a journey, it's not a destination. That's from ADRE 101. That's how I look at healing. I'm never healed. I'm never healed.
Wow, man. No one's ever said that on the show. No one has ever said, they've said, oh, it's a process. But no one has just said, I'm never healed. Because that could be very if I were a pessimist, I'd just be broken right now. It's never going to be over. But because I understand what you're saying. But people who are like, the nerve. What do you mean by that?
And we're always elevating. We're always evolving. We're always learning. I don't even know who I am completely. So how can I be completely healed and I don't even know who I am? I don't know who I'm going to be 10 years from now. So there's always going to be something that I'm going to learn about myself that's probably going to need to be healed. Nobody's perfect. And healing is I've been working on rejection and abandonment from growing up without a father.
Hello, sister.
Hello, sister. I was able to find it. I'm like, rejection and abandonment. So sometimes circumstances and places happen, and then we realize it's stuff that we gotta heal from.
Yeah.
But I feel like I put it everything so horrific, like right here. I need a pencil. So I think it's like in little pieces.
Yes, that's how we eat an elephant. That's what I have to remind folk of. Look, one bite at a time, sis. You don't want this whole thing. I promise you. Your mouth is not.
If I say I'm healed, if I say I healed and then I have a bad day, that could set me way back. Because I'm like, oh my God, I'm not healed now.
So knowing that healing is an ongoing thing and that something is always going to come up. You're going to get a boo from somewhere.
And it's okay. Because it's a journey.
That's it. I love that.
Hashtag the nerve of people to think that they heal. Okay. The nerve. You think you heal?
You're pretty. This is what I'm not telling these people who are like 20. They're like, I know everything about myself. I know myself. You don't know you. We weren't even of you yet.
I've met women that are 60 and 80 years old. I'm the first person they ever told that they were sexually assaulted or in a domestic violence relationship. They've never told anybody.
Yeah.
And now that's healing for them to tell.
60, 70, 80, all the things. Yeah. You are never healed. Because if you're healed, then why are you here?
Yeah.
You're here.
I just don't. People disagree with me, and that's okay. But I don't believe that you just heal.
No, look, you can heal some parts, but that I think is all.
Might be good. In these moments today, you might be good, and I think that's why people here, if they stop, they think they're good, then they got to go back.
And then it's.
I am going to be in therapy forever. I go to my counselor when I'm feeling good and when I'm feeling bad because I don't want to have to restart over when I have a bad. You're like, I'm good. What you got going on? What's up with you?
Yeah. Oh my word. Okay. Texture. I know. I don't know where that word came from, but I thought, let's throw it in there.
Texture are my locks. Natural beauty, my natural locks.
Pretty.
Thank you. My locks are, it's not no perm, it ain't no creamy crack. This stuff right here is coarse, baby. And it is my lifeline. It's a testament of just true acceptance of who I am. Because the journey, the lock journey is serious.
Look,
beautiful and feeling the texture of the hair they got. Hey, that's it.
I love it.
That's saying the nerve of you not to accept who you are in the hair and the skin color and the shape that God gave you.
I am not my hair.
Not my hair.
I am not my skin. I love that. So how long have you been locked?
Nowhere. 3 years.
3?
Yeah.
Girl, your hair must grow fast.
I don't know. One day I woke up and I was like, oh, my hair long. Right. You're my daughter. I told my daughter, I think my hair on my bra strap. She told my mama, you reaching it now. You reaching it. I was like, it's almost.
You pulling that hair, Mom. My daughter is almost, my oldest daughter, she's 23, and I locked her when she was in the 7th grade.
Okay.
When I tell you this child lock, she had thick, right? She doesn't retwist very often because she likes them to stay thick, but they're like down her back.
Yeah.
Past that, but they are so beautiful and they've grown with her. And but there's some pain in the ends of those locks, right? From where the beginning started. And I'm like, I think you need to clip about an inch or two. She was like, I don't know. I said, I promise you feel better. You'll feel lighter and you'll be able to move forward in a way that is more your adult self than that little preteen girl. That's because that hair is going to hold all that. Yeah. So no, this here is usually like this. But we've been busy, so my husband hadn't had a chance to shave me down. I haven't up yet, but it's coming. I just don't do hair.
I love it. I think you look beautiful. I think it's very courageous to just walk the road and be like, this is me. It is what it is. But I don't have to conform to what society norms are.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. But you know what this is called? Having 3 daughters with too much hair. I don't have to do their hair anymore. But
you gotta walk into the room with your hair cut off and not have the little smooth, curly, straight, bone straight hair. This is just a journey to be just accepted and to say, I like to shape my head.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, apparently I was born under some kind of weird moon because I never cared. And this been 30-something years.
I love it.
30-something years. But yeah, and people have always said, you're so courageous. Is this a state? Yes. I'm lazy. Ding. Ding. That's my statement. I'm lazy. I am. Where are we? Okay.
Use texture.
Okay. My phone was oh God. My earbuds are doing something weird. Okay, you're done. Okay. We're almost done.
Originality. I believe that God created all of us to be individuals, original. We're not the same, all different, and we should embrace that. You should embrace our originality. You're not weird. You're different. You are unique. And just accept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, against stretch marks. Ain't going nowhere. Them stretch marks is a special design created just for me. Very original.
That's what I say about my fupa. I said, look here. This fupa is the result of 3 seasons.
This is what you fit.
This body has been lived in. It's brought life.
Yeah. Yeah. I am the original version that created me to be. And hashtag the nerve of me to think that I'm not.
Wow.
Think any different.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Prejudice.
Prejudice?
Huh? And you are freezing just a little bit.
Okay. I believe that could be just in all different ways. Again, it comes level, race, your
You're frozen.
Is it tired?
It might be. Look.
Am I back?
Yes, I think.
It says okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have
I hear you, but your picture's still frozen. Oh yeah, I added anyway, so it's fine.
Okay. I think that a person is not kind when they're prejudiced. And I don't think prejudice is just rape. I think people could be prejudiced against you because of your income status, because of your sex, of your position at work, if you're a supervisor, if you have any type of favoritism. I think prejudice comes in all shapes and forms, and I don't think it's nice. I think that kindness is important, and I think that we should accept all differences, accept people for who they are. And the nerve of you to be prejudiced. Hashtag nerve for you to be prejudiced.
I feel like you need to get a t-shirt. Hashtag the nerve.
The nerve, that's mine. I'm like, the nerve of you to be prejudiced. Yeah, Black people be prejudiced. Asian people could be prejudiced. White people, everybody could be prejudiced.
That's what people don't understand.
Yep.
I take that word and I break it down into prejudge. So yes, there are some moments where your prejudgments are needed, but then you can't let that go into, and because I did my prejudgment and I found you lacking, I don't want to get to know anything else about you. So I'm just going to stick with what I think I know. What are you doing? Missing out on good people. Imagination.
And imagination is limited. I think that we put limits on our imagination, that God could do anything, like the opportunities. And if we just think it's possible, don't let other people's opinion or for them to say, that's not possible, that can't happen, that don't make sense, that's weird. Don't let those thoughts come in. Don't let other people say that about what you think. It is definitely possible. And so an imagination is limitless. There's no limit on what can be. And that's the truth.
You see all of this. Okay. I'm just going to say what I want to say. The only one I like that you gave me is the nerve.
The nerve. Wow. There's no trauma brain. So I don't always remember everything either. So that's another thing.
Oh, you ain't good company.
Yeah, and I got a menopause brain, a trauma brain. It's
perimenopausal, and then we got all kind of crazy stuff going over here. So yeah, like I said, you don't see me saying anything crazy, right? Because you're a good company. We might be sisters.
We're kindred spirits. We're right here in the same city. When you reached out to me, I did not realize that you were in South Carolina. I was like, what?
I knew you were in Columbia because I'd be researching before I reach out to folks.
I just was being nice and responding to you. I responded to everybody. I didn't know. I didn't know where you were.
Yeah.
I didn't look you
Right here,
like after.
right here chilling like a villain. Connections. Ding, ding.
You can't always do it alone. The connections that we make in life teach us lessons. It makes us stronger, right? It helps elevate us. When we connect to one person, it connects us to another person. It's our tribe. Connection is a tribe. And I've tried to create a tribe of survivors and connected. Connection is through trauma at times, which suck, but it's healing. So connections are important to recognize what similarities we have and how to connect to the similarity in our different and we can connect. I like connecting. And I am definitely an introvert. People don't think so, but I'm an introvert. I'll be in my room with a good book and my pillow for days and don't talk to another human, right?
That part. That part.
And we're connected to this earth, to animals, to the water, to the sun. Everything is connected.
Yes. Here, you shared a tattoo. I'll share a tattoo. I don't know if you can see it clearly. When it says, I am we. Yeah, my oldest daughter and I got this tattoo together. And it means something completely different for her. Because I think it was Huey P. Newton or something that, But I told her, I said, for me, when I say I am we, I literally mean that I am that next person. I can see myself in that person. It allows me to give grace where I probably wouldn't. When I see people treat me weird, I can say, now, why am I acting so crazy today? What happened in today? That's making me do these things, behave this way. I said, it allows me to give grace because otherwise I'd be in jail. And don't nobody want me in jail. Nobody wants me in jail. But it also reminds me that I am not just we, but I am we, all the parts, universe, everything. So yeah, connections. Last, but certainly not least, spirit. I don't know how these words were chosen, but they fit perfectly. Spirit.
I believe that we are a spirit. And I think that we connect with spirit. My spirit can love, feel your spirit. Some people don't believe that, but I believe. You believe that it's only the Holy Ghost, the only spirit that's possible, right? Some people think it's big negative ghost and evil spirit. But I believe within us, there's a spirit. I died, this is a body. Body is whole. And my spirit, I don't even care if I'm cremated because why? My spirit is amazing. My spirit can feel your spirit and know what's going on with your spirit. My spirit reads. My spirit is energetic. My spirit is contagious. And it's important that I protect my spirit. I heal my spirit, that I give my spirit energy, that I'm poured into it, and that I love it. Because it's the only one that I have. And it's the most important spirit in the universe. No other person's spirit, no other spirit is more important than this spirit right here within me. And I believe that's how I connect to God, is through spirit. Spirit is within me. And that's what makes us the limitless beings.
Yes.
It's my spirit.
Yes, I love everything you're saying. You are killing me. I love everything you're saying. Okay, this body is a vehicle. I always have to remind myself that. I had a podcast about 2 or 3 years ago called Enchanted Beast podcast. And that was when I was writing my 4 books, which delved deeply into spirituality. And I was also going through a period of transition. And so I was trying to work it all out, but I didn't want to feel like I was talking to myself. So I just put it out there on a podcast. And so now when I need to go back and get a little bit of, girl, you remember? I can listen to my podcast and say, yes, I remember. But that Enchanted Beast, it really did help me put into, what is the word I'm looking for? Into a frame that makes sense that this, Vicky, Ella, is a car, a vehicle. And that's all it is. But me, I'm eternal. I'm forever. And I need to be focusing on that, right? Take care of this because and I was told, it was weird when I got sick, like 11, 12 years ago. This is what I heard. This is what Ella's ears heard. I don't need you. You have not done what I told you to do. You have been disobedient. I don't need you. I can get rid of you and choose another one. That's what Ella's ears heard. And that's when it really solidified for me. Oh, yes, this is just a vehicle. It's just a car. I need to be focusing on that thing that was talking and saying, I don't need you. You're just, and yeah, that was the beginning of a really huge transition. Yeah, I love what you said. Absolutely. Wow, Dr. Vanessa. Our time is up. You've been awesome. Do you want to share anything with the listening audience before we go? I was going to ask you if you were one of your poems, but I wasn't sure if I had even said I would do that, and I don't like to catch people off guard.
I will read a poem.
Thank you.
R. Kelly versus India Ari. What is your favorite R. Kelly song or CD? Most people love his music, know every beat. Not me, because when I hear his voice, I remember the day when you asked me to go to dinner and treated me like a queen. You were so nice, and I didn't think you could ever be evil. That is why I trusted you when you said, let's go to my room to watch a movie. Your dark arms turned into snakes as they started to explore my body. They were strong and overpowered my small hands. Your couch turned into a bed as you pushed me down. You took your pants down faster than a speed of lightning. I couldn't believe that you were entering my treasure for only your pleasure. I just laid there with questions running through my head. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting me? Are you wearing a condom? Will I catch AIDS? Will I get pregnant? Will you ever stop? I made lots of thoughts as you took over my body without permission. I just laid there, not fighting back, with salty tears running down my face. It was like you were running your own race. When I tuned out your heavy breathing, all I could hear was, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Homie, lover, friend, it seems like you're ready. Sex me, baby. And finally, 12 play. You rate me for the entire CD as if it was your theme song for hours long. Hey, can you hear me?
Hear you perfectly, and you're not glitching or anything.
Okay, I'm gonna start over.
Hey, okay, I was about to say I didn't want to ask you. Well, I didn't want to ask you to start over, but I was just gonna sit here and pout until you do
I'll
it.
start over. No, I'll start over.
Okay.
All right. R. Kelly versus India. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna switch. Let's try this.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
What we're not gonna do is not get this poem out.
Okay. Let's go. I'm taking notes.
Okay. R. Kelly versus India Ari. What is your favorite R. Kelly song or CD? Most people love his music and know every beat. Not me, because when I hear his voice, I remember the day when you asked me to go to dinner and treated me like a queen. You were so nice, and I didn't think you could ever be evil. That is why I trusted you when you said, let's go to my room to watch a movie. Your dark arms turned into snakes as they started to explore my body. They were strong and overpowered my small hands. Your couch turned into a bed as you pushed me down. You took your pants down faster than the speed of lightning. I couldn't believe that you were entering my treasure for only your pleasure. I just laid there with questions running through my head. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting me? Are you wearing a condom? Will I catch AIDS? Will I get pregnant? Will you ever stop? I became lost in my thoughts as you took over my body without permission. I just laid there, not fighting back, with salty tears falling down my face. It was like you were running a race. When I tuned out your heavy breathing, all I could hear was, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Homie, lover, friend, it seems like you're ready. Sex me, baby. And finally, 12 play. You raped me for the entire CD as if it was your theme song, and hours long. So yes, I hate the sound of R. Kelly's voice and the sound of your voice. As you said, soldier, no one will believe you. Now I am healing, and I use my voice to help others to escape the demise of rape. Today, my tears still fall, but they are full of joy as they flutter down my face, beautiful butterflies. Your actions no longer have me bound, so I no longer frown. I have replaced R. Kelly with India Ari. Life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes, just chances we're taking. It's a beautiful night. I am light, and now I'm ready for love. And ready to conquer the shame by placing it on you, because you should be ashamed of what you did to me. You were wrong. They believe me. And instead of fighting a war in Iraq, I leave the battle to God, who has my back. Signed, Private Vanessa Guyton.
I love that. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. The fact that you took us through all of that with this really gorgeous smile on your face. And I was just smiling. As soon as you started singing India Ari, I was like, yeah. Oh, so dramatic, yes. True, yes. Warranted, of course. Dr. Vanessa Guyton, thank you so much. Now, I would not be a great therapist, unlicensed as I am, if I didn't give you homework.
Okay.
And your homework is to tell me good things should be sitting on my proverbial couch next.
Kim Hardy, her organization is called Hardy Hands. And she is a survivor of epilepsy. She's an epilepsy warrior. And I think she's phenomenal. She wrote a book called Wally and Me. And it's about her dog who helped protect her as she goes on her journey with epilepsy. I think she would be phenomenal to be a guest to sit with you.
It's a children's book?
The children's book. It's about epilepsy.
Okay. Thank you. And is she here in Colombia as well?
She is in Colombia.
Oh, okay. I'm loving it. I'm loving it because you know what? You're sending me people. The universe is sending me the people I've been asking for. I'm excited about this. Very excited about this. Gosh, how can my listeners get in touch with you? How can they learn more about your organization? And how can they send you some mucho dinero, money? Because I'm all about it. I think I'm going to auction off your book box so that that will come to you. So how can they send you money?
So you can reach me on my website is vanessaguyton.com. Mm-hmm. That's when you can learn more about me. And it's just, I call it my media kit online. Hush No More is hushnomore.org. We're on all social media platforms. That is our website. Our number is 1-888-285-2161. You are able to reach out to us if you just want to say hi, how you doing? I'm a survivor. I want to come to some of your retreats. A lot of our events are online and you could join us. If you would like to donate, you could donate to Cash App Hush No More. Our PayPal is paypal.me/Hush No More. Our Venmo is Hush No More. And you can also go to our website, hushnomore.org, and donate. And every dollar that we receive goes to survivors. It goes to just lifting the lives of other people and making a difference in our world. And I appreciate everyone for just taking the time to listen and honoring me by being here in this space today and honoring you and your platform as amazing as it is.
Thank you. Because this is amazing. I love what you're doing. I can't wait to meet you in person.
You might come to Niagara Falls with us. We go to Niagara Falls in June for a healing retreat. We'd love to have you come, but we're doing a lot.
Yeah, you are. That's what I noticed. All the things. Okay. I'm going to let you go. And I've enjoyed every second of it.
Thank you for joining us on the Black Writer Therapy Podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and download our episodes. To my aspiring writers, remember, this is a journey, and every rewrite takes you closer to where you desire to be. And our industry allies, let's keep those gates open, shall we? The Black Writer Therapy Podcast is accepting requests for affinity collaborative partnerships. Contact Vicki Finkley Brown if your company or organization is interested in participating. I'm Shawn, host and unlicensed therapist of the Black Writer Therapy Podcast, reminding you to be kindest to yourself first, always and in all ways. Until next week.
We need to talk about that too at the end because I want to say something about that.
I want to take a short break to tell you about my new favorite tool, Cast Magic. This tool can turn any audio into content. That's meetings from work, long YouTube videos from your favorite mentors, and even podcasts. Just upload the audio or YouTube link and let the magic begin. In fact, the title, show notes, social media, and my newsletter blast for this exact podcast were all produced by Cast Magic. To get started, check out the link in the show notes and turn your media into ready-to-use content. You'll thank me later. Now, back to the show.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is,